My mother got herself into an MLM scheme last year despite my brother and I warning her against it. She quit her job because the MLM scheme people told her this was her chance to become an entrepreneur and independent. My dad supports her financially now, and my 4 younger siblings gave up on the oils after selling them to everyone she knew. She still has a lot more left to sell, but now she wants to do something else because she doesn't feel like she's her own boss at this MLM company. She overestimated how many people wanted to buy her product, and now she's thousands in debt. She won't get a job, and my dad can't afford to pay it off without selling the house and his car. My brother has 3 kids in private school, and he doesn't have much money to spare. I'm on maternity leave, and the amount she needs will wipe out my savings. I'd also have to use my husband's money to cover this debt, which is unfair. She doesn't want to get a job after this debt is cleared because she's an entrepreneur at heart, and working for someone's company is soul-crushing. She wants to open a food truck even though they aren't popular in the town she lives in and always go out of business. My mom isn't a bad cook, but she's competing with professional chefs, and I'm sure she'll give up as soon as it gets hard. My dad says he plans to sell the house and his car and move his tenants out of the apartment he owns. My mom called me crying because she loves her neighborhood and has lived here for 35 years. She says I'm selfish and evil for not paying her debt because she'll pay me back when she expands her food truck business. She doesn't understand why I don't just use my husband's money, since he won't notice it's gone. My mom has threatened not to allow me to see my younger siblings, whom I'm close to, and to have me exiled by our entire family. Am I the idiot for refusing to clear this debt, leaving her and my siblings homeless, even though I could because my mom's threatening me? Not the idiot. You said you're on maternity leave. Do not wipe out your savings to bail your mother out. You need that money for your own children. Do not harm your children's future because of your mother's irresponsible actions. She's perfectly capable of getting a job and dealing with the debt on her own. She just doesn't want to. And she's horrible for wanting to harm her grandchildren's future to do so. There is a saying, don't ever loan money to your family that you can't afford to lose. Considering your mother's history, you can't believe her promise to pay you back, even if you had a contract signed. She's coming to you for a loan instead of a bank because she cannot repay you without legal consequences. And the fact that she's resorting to emotional manipulation to get you to change your mind shows that she knows that. Your mother is an adult. She needs to grow up and get out of this mess. This, OP, how does your mom know about you and your husband's finances? Because you probably told her. In the future, never tell anyone anything about your finances, ever, especially your family, because your mother is a financial idiot. She's always going to need a dig out and no bank will lend to her. If you give now, expect escalating demands. I have a brother who has a similar attitude. I don't want to work a soul-crushing job. I'm an entrepreneur, etc. Let me guess, your mom also has an issue with authority and gives up as soon as anything gets difficult. When things don't pan out, it's never actually her fault, and literally anything and everything else is to blame. I know the type, and trust me, it will never stop until you put your foot down. My parents have poured over $100,000 into my brother's failures over the past 10 years and finally cut him off only a year or so ago. I gave him over $10,000 in random increments over the past few years, as have multiple friends. His ex-boss gave him a $30,000 loan that he will never be able to pay back. He has nothing to show for it. I feel so bad for you, OP, because I know this feeling, but please nip this in the bud and keep your door open for your younger siblings because they'll have to get out from under her one day too. Good luck. I, 26 female, have a stepsister, 18, whom I haven't seen in many years. She was so young when I last saw her. My relationship with my mom, her stepmom, was never a good one. She was never a good parent to me. When she decided to get married and settle down while also not attempting to be a good mom to me, I made the decision to fight hard to get my dad to win custody of me, which he did when I was 13. My mom was supposed to go to therapy and classes before the courts attempted to try reunification therapy for us. But she never took those steps, so we never did the therapy together and won't. I have zero desire to be part of her life. I had a relationship with her parents and siblings, though not a close one. They included me, though, and I would see my mom from a distance for a few years at occasional family gatherings. My stepsister would also be there, and she became far closer to my maternal side over time than I was. My reason for not being very close to my maternal side is that they would encourage me to give Mom a chance. They would try and talk me into taking the role of big sister for her stepdaughter because they knew my mom had zero desire to have any children at all and would not be having more. Apparently, her stepdaughter struggled with not having siblings, so they wanted me to fill that gap for her. I wasn't interested then, and I'm not interested now. I don't hate the girl, but simply put, we are not family, and I really had little to do with anyone from my mom's side in a good 4 years. I received a digital invite to the baby shower 3 weeks ago, and I RSVP'd no. This was followed by another one and a message from my stepsister saying she wanted her baby's aunt to be there. It was followed by another message begging me to change my mind, and then another invitation she personalized to ask me to be there. She told me not to bring a gift, just me, because I would be the real gift. I told her I wasn't interested again, and then I blocked her. But she followed me to another platform, and then she begged and pleaded with me to change my mind. I said it wasn't too late for us to be sisters and for me to be her baby's aunt. I told her I wouldn't attend her baby shower, and I wouldn't change my mind just because she kept asking or sending invites. She told me she didn't understand why I hated her, and this interaction prompted contact from my maternal grandparents. They told me I shouldn't have been so cruel, and that if I really had to let her down, I should have made it way softer. Am I the idiot? I'm curious why your sister is so fixated on having a relationship with you. It's not like you were around much or doted on her and then disappeared. Why is it so important to the family that you fulfill this person's fantasy of what a sister is like? Stepsister built up this relationship in her mind without any facts or even time spent together. Teens are fixated on famous people and insist their idols reciprocate the relationship. You seem to have no more relationship with your stepsister than you have with the checkout person at Target, and it fascinates me why your stepsister insists you need to have a relationship. Stepsister needs therapy to realize you do not owe her a relationship. Do you live close to them? The wording of "you're this baby's aunt" may suggest that your mother's stepdaughter wishes for you to take a portion of responsibility for this baby. I wonder if your maternal grandparents might have also been hyping up the idea of a free babysitter for the pregnant 18-year-old. Also, I question who you are punishing here. Is your stepsister catching strays because of your mom? How is OP punishing anyone here? You're reading too much into it. OP just keeps declining and is not doing anything bad. OP should run to block all of them. I guarantee there is a "can the baby and I move in with you? Can you babysit?" angle. People mistaking your indifference for hate is ridiculous. There's no gentle way of letting her down. You RSVP'd no like 3 times. Her expectations of you, a literal stranger these days, are over the top, and that's what's causing her hurt. That's not a you problem. I married my beautiful wife Hannah almost a year ago. Now I love her more than anything, but she was a bit of a bridezilla and everything at the wedding had to be perfect. I work in an industry where butt kissing and nepotism run rampant, so we invited people I work with to the wedding. Chris, the firm's owner, showed up with his wife who was wearing white with flowers, and Hannah was fuming. She felt she did it on purpose, as she had apparently been catty in the past and demanded I kick her out. I told her I couldn't kick my boss's wife out, but then I could see it was ruining her day and her maid of honor was threatening red wine, which would have been worse. I told them as gently as I could. His wife was like, "But it has flowers." But they did leave. My mom told me I was a damn idiot and better not expect a loan from her when this blew up. Well, long story short, I didn't get the promotion I had a good chance of getting. Chris now treats me like a joke and wants nothing to do with me, and the rest of the firm is laughing behind my back. I'm looking for another job, but it is what it is for right now. Hannah desperately wants a bigger house so we can start our family. Also, I saw her eyeing some jewelry my sister's boyfriend bought her, and it just makes me feel like crap. Well, my mom turned 50 the other day and my stepdad showed up with a Porsche. In the car, Hannah joked I should get her one for her upcoming birthday, and I kinda lost my temper. I yelled that if she didn't make me kick my boss's wife out, maybe I could. Hannah burst into tears, and when we got home, she locked herself in a room. Am I the idiot? And you married Hannah for her intelligence and personality, right? You are the idiot. You're just as dumb as her for marrying Porschezilla. Next time, have some guts, and you won't miss out on a promotion. She's going to ruin your life and then leave you. Dude, grow a spine. Give me a break, the boss's wife was being a witch. Everyone knows you don't wear white to a wedding, flowers or not. He was in a lose-lose scenario. He made the choice that he could get out of the repercussions. It was easier to find a new job than a new wife. OP should also realize her showing up in white was a signal he was not going to get the promotion. Either he's rude and kicks them out, or he's a spineless butt kisser who is no good for further development. As for the Porsche, not the idiot. She knows what you can afford, at least she should, and should realise you're stressed about finding a new job while saving for the house. It's not a good time to joke about dropping $75,000 or more for something that will lose 40% of its value the moment you get possession of it. My sister and her kids have been going to therapy for the past 4 months. My sister lost her husband 3 years ago and started dating again 2 years ago. Now she's engaged to a guy, Kev, and he's living with her and the kids. The kids are a tween and a pre-tween, and the youngest is a year younger. My sister had this idea that the kids would be crazy about Kev and so excited to have another man around that they'd think of him as another dad figure, second dad, bonus dad, or however people prefer to title it. From what I know, Kev is a pretty decent guy, but I also know the 2 older kids remember their dad really well. He was actually the stay-at-home parent in the relationship. And the youngest, despite being 4 when his dad died, also has some memories of him, so it's not easy for them to accept Kev being there. The kids pulled back from my sister after she told them she was dating someone, and they were very closed off with Kev when they met. Despite this, they moved in together and got engaged. My sister decided they needed therapy together because the kids would try to stay out of the way after Kev moved in. They weren't enthusiastic about spending time with her or with Kev. If they weren't at a friend's house or playing outside, they would hole up in their rooms. My sister tried coaxing them out, but she knew they were just not interested, so she started going to therapy with them to figure stuff out. In therapy, the kids opened up and my sister had to leave the room for this to happen, and it became clear that they were having a very hard time with their mom being with Kev. All 3 kids say they'd rather be left behind than brought forward the way their mom is moving forward. They're also very fearful that Kev will be as involved as their dad was, and they don't want that. They don't want him to be their parent or taking care of them. After maybe 3 months of therapy, my sister was told by the therapist that her recommendation would be for her and Kev to live separately and not get married for a few more years, and for her to focus on her role as the kids' mom. She told her it would be better for the kids. She also told her it would be the easiest way for them and Kev to have a friendly and maybe even close relationship in the future. My sister really didn't like hearing this. She vented to me twice, asked me what she should do, and told me she really wanted to hear my thoughts. So I told her I thought she should listen to the therapist because I agreed with what she said. She asked me why, and I brought up some family friends we've had since childhood, where the dad remarried after his wife died, and the kids from the first marriage felt it was too fast and are very distant from the family today. I told her I would hate to see that happen with her and the kids. She was upset hearing this from me. Then she got mad and told me I should encourage her to follow her heart. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Always be honest and direct. Your sister wanted affirmation from the therapist that the kids needed to accept the situation. When she didn't get this, she thought the therapist's advice wasn't worth listening to. I had a stepdad, so I understand the kids' position. They have no interest in being parented by, from their perspective, some random dude who isn't their dad. He might be a decent guy, but her kids should come first. No one said they had to break up, right? Just not live together yet. I resented my mom for bringing my stepdad into my life. Is that what she's looking for? My partner is a widower with 3 young adult kids, 19, 21, 23. It was 2 years before I stayed overnight at his place. He stayed at mine instead. Your sister is lonely and seeking comfort from Kev's companionship. But foremost, she is a mother and the best interests of her children should come first. If Kev was decent, he'd recognize that and back off. A chat with Kev may be due. Most people here are too young to understand that parents resenting their kids is just as big a problem. I don't agree that a mother who has lost her husband has to stay alone because that's the way the kids want it. Reality bites, but kids have to learn to deal with it or life will always be painful for them. Putting your kids first sometimes means creating the best family you can and expecting them to respect you and love you enough to help you do that. I don't think this therapist is helping. When the kids are teens, they'll sing the same "Stay Alone" song to mom. I, 26 male, have been with my ex, 26 female, for about 9 years, but we've known each other for much longer. My ex had an affair, which I won't go into detail about, but we didn't have a shouting match. I just packed up essentials and messaged her saying that I know about her affair, I want nothing to do with you, but I wish you well, and then I proceeded to block her everywhere. I've been renting a motel while I look for a new place, which is strange for me as this is actually the first time I've ever been looking for an apartment, as my ex paid for the last. I won't deny I missed the presence of my ex, so I decided to put myself out there on a few dating apps. I met a really lovely girl and I don't know why, but I felt immediate attraction towards her, and I guess she felt the same way towards me and we clicked. I genuinely loved her and I told a few of my close friends. However, one of my friends wasn't happy for me. She claimed that I never loved my ex and was an idiot for not even hearing her perspective, and that I should be mourning the relationship, not searching for other women. I'm assuming she also told my ex, as she called my parents, who scolded me a few hours later for moving on so quickly. I didn't tell them about my new relationship as they're idiots. They're aware of my ex's affair and was against the idea to leave her. I was dumbfounded that my friend had so much resentment towards me, considering how close we were at university, but I just accepted that she made her choice and blocked her without even responding. But is she really right? Am I the idiot? Did I move on too quickly? I have the right to choose the people I want a relationship with. I mean, at least you didn't move on while in a relationship. I'm not sure why they're so mad. Why aren't they asking your ex if she ever loved you while she was cheating with someone else when she was still in a relationship with you? Those who are siding with the cheating ex need to reset their priorities. Have fun with the new girl and ignore the haters. You are not the idiot. It sounds like maybe your friend was hoping to date you next but was waiting what she thought was an appropriate amount of time and is now angry she missed her shot. Dude, rebound relationships rarely work out long term, but they are part of the process of healing. You do you and block the friend. However, your ex cheats and your parents scold you? Time to get new parents.